Thank you for clicking on this video to watch this episode. This is probably not the introduction you were expecting, but I felt like I owe it to you. I needed to do it because you are going to notice there are a few inconsistencies when it comes to photo and video in this episode. They are not what you are used to. It is not what I am used to. Reason why is because we had a few issues with the cameras and we had a few issues with the editing, and recording the episode was very difficult. I could have gone ahead and skipped this episode and not put it out, which would have been the ideal thing for me, because I have had a couple episodes that I did not release because I didn't like the quality. I'll try to give you the best quality possible all the times. With this episode is different because it is questions that I read as soon as I'm in the studio. It is not a second reaction. It is not a fake reaction. It is an instant reaction and an instant response. Therefore, I could not record it again. It would have felt very unnatural. So I hope you understand, and I hope you enjoy this episode. We are here for episode number 2 of SOLIF Exit People, which is kind of scary because I'm looking at 13 responses right now, and it's a lot of numbers, it's a lot of questions. I'll try to be as concise with time and with the questions. I don't know if I can answer all of them, but I'll try to answer most of them. If I don't answer your question, I'm truly sorry, which I'm not really, because I'm really tight with time, because it's a lot of questions. Like, think about it. I want to expand on each and every single one, so I might do it for next month's episode. So don't hate on me. Don't send me a message, boo-hoo, didn't read my question, no, I hate you. Just have some patience. Jesus. Anyways, kicking off with question number 1. Are Carlton winning the flag? Really? Really? This is what you want to ask out of everything after you got knocked out? Have some shame. Have some decency. No, they're not. We both know they're not. Okay. Hold on. How do I get to... Okay, there it is. Questions. Yes. No. How do I... I'm sorry. I'm really bad with my technology. Okay. Okay, we got it. Are Carlton winning the flag? No. Move on. Get a life, Jesus. Are Carlton winning the flag again? Oh, why do I keep getting AFL questions, guys? I'm not an AFL, diehard. Number 1. Okay. What are your future aspirations? My future aspirations is to get this podcast on a global level. Well, for now, it's Australia because we're operating from Australia. But if I'm being honest, I think getting this podcast up and going and spreading the message, because one, if I can do that, that means I can help my family and put food on the table for my family, which is probably the main thing for me. And it should be the main thing for everyone else, obviously. But also to help people, because that's what I get joy out of through this project. The messages that I get from people saying, oh, you've helped me do this, do that, do this, do that. I listen to your podcast when I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to know that I can at least help 1 or 2 people. So that's my future aspirations. I was sexually assaulted a little over 2 years ago, and I never told anyone besides some close friends. I didn't want to go to the police due to the shame and stigma I would have faced from family due to their views and possibly blaming me for not acting more proactively for the wag I wa dresses. I don't understand. What does that mean? Wag I wa. Hold on, I gotta search it up. What's wag I wa? I know it's a little bit off topic, but I gotta get full context of this. Okay, nothing came up. So we're just gonna, go with it. Okay, so faced with the family due to their views on loose clothing and possibly blaming for not acting proactively. I would wear the thickest loose clothing even in heat for a while in fear of being seen a particular way and I lost a lot of sleep in the early stages, fearing they would find me. I can finally say I am accepting it and stopped feeling so paranoid about them showing up somewhere, and my nightmares have decreased by a lot. Okay? And I've sought professional help, and I wish I did at the time, but I learned to work through it myself, and by first accepting what had happened and telling myself I am not to blame and turning for help through God. It took me some time just to process that, but now it is safe to say I have well moved past it, and I have learned many valuable things on the way. I don't feel the need to go after the person that did this to me. Time will do what it needs to. Thank you for providing this platform. First of all, thank you for sharing. That's pretty deep. I'm really sorry that I really say I'm really sorry. I hate saying I'm sorry. I didn't do it because, I would say something different. I hope you understand. Thank you for sharing this. I don't really know exactly what it feels like to be sexually assaulted. I didn't have, that experience in my life, or I didn't have that exact experience in my life, at least. I had something similar when I was young, but, probably not as raw and recent as yours. So thank you for sharing. I hope anyone hearing this could reach out, and maybe I can connect you to the person that is writing this message, because it seems like they've gone through quite the journey, and people could learn from that, because it's not easy to let go of something like that. I know people that hold on to the smallest of things, not even something as big as, sexual assault. They hold on to something really silly and they make it, really big. So good job. I'm really proud of you. And thank you for sharing. And you don't really ask for advice. I'm not going to give you any unsolicited, any uncalled for advice. I'm not going to do that. Let's go number 5. Okay. Top 5 musicians. Go. Jesus, why would you put me on the spot? Okay, Burna Boy, The Weeknd. Do I have a timer for this? I have a timer for this. Yeah. Fuck. Belly, The Weeknd, Burna Boy. Who would I listen to that often? I don't listen to exact musicians. I listen to genres, if that makes sense. I'm not big on listening to the musicians themselves. But with that being said, I'll go to my library just for you, so I can see who's my most recent. Oh, maybe Kanye. I listen to a lot of Kanye. Easy. And Daft Punk. Is that 4? That's 5. Okay, that's 5. Happy? Okay, I'm gonna list them again. The Weeknd, Burna Boy, Kanye, Belly, and Daft Punk. Michael Jackson. That's 7. Jesus, who cares? Moving on. Why would you ask that, man? Out of everything you could have asked, you asked this. Okay. This is a question from unknown person. How do you overcome your fears? Okay. By experience, I think the way I did it, I always overcame my fears by going and facing them straight away. There's no other way to do it. Let's be real, right? What are you gonna do? Keep running away from them your whole life? And like, this is a very general question. How do you overcome your fears? But yes, true. How do you overcome your fears? It can be very can vary from one thing to another. One general rule of thumb that I saw apply to most cases is facing them. If you don't face your fears, you're just gonna keep running away from them, and you're not gonna heal them, and they're just gonna keep biting you in the ass whenever and however. Okay. One case for me was I was very thediophobic. I think that's the word for it. I had a big fear of snakes. I still do somehow, one way or another. I have this beard right now, kind of protects me, but yeah, no, I've always been afraid of snakes, and I exposed myself to it. And through exposure, you learn that you become more adapted to it. You don't learn shit, if I'm being honest. You become more adapted to it. If you become more adapted to it, you become more familiar. Because think about it like this: your brain is scared of the unknown more than the known. Okay? If you know something, you wouldn't be scared of it. If you know something, truly know something, you wouldn't be afraid of it because you're familiar with it. Right? So your brain works in a way where if you walk into a dark room with nothing in it, there's nothing there, but you're going to be scared because you don't know what's there because it's dark. You assume that there's nothing, and that's the general concept of a haunted house. Why do people feel scared in a haunted house? It's because they don't know what's there. So really, you're afraid of the unknown, and so make it known. Even if it's something as simple as starting a project, right? Even if it's as simple as starting a project, why would you be afraid to start a project? Because you don't know. You don't know if it's going to work. You don't know if it's not going to work. Taking a new job, you don't know if you're going to succeed, not going to succeed. So try to ask questions. Try to talk to people who've done it before you. Learn from people's experiences. Really, really learn from people's experiences. Because other people before you tried that, and they probably failed as well, and you probably are going to fail too. And so you're at least prepared for what's there. So you gather information, and so you have somewhere around 90%, 80%, 70%, at least 50. Jesus, even if you go in with 20%, is better than nothing, and you become less and less afraid of the thing. So that's how you overcome it. You don't really overcome it, rather you go through it. And even while doing it, you're still going to be scared because you're not going to be sure. You're going to be doubtful, like, did I do the right thing? Did I go through the right path, if I may, you know? So yeah, that would be my advice to you. Okay, moving on. What are your thoughts on aliens? What are my thoughts on aliens? I think if you watch this show enough, you would know. But they're really interesting, I think. Oh, hold on, actually. I think aliens are pretty interesting. I don't know if they're real or not, because think about it like this. There is no way. Well, wait a second. Okay. There is no way that we're the only people out there. There's no way we're the only people out here. Think about it. Like, we have like how many galaxies out here? Some like gazillions, right? We don't even know how much. The thought of us being alone is absurd. So let's just get that out of the way. I do believe there is extraterrestrial life. That's just me, okay? Don't go slamming me in the comments. That's just me. But I think that it's one-off. They're either really friendly and chill, or they just don't exist. Because like if they did, and if they had evil intentions, we would have been blown up by now, right? Or they're just here trying to make sure that we don't kill each other, which we do. So, right? So that's my thoughts on aliens. If you're gonna talk about the Mexico evidence for aliens, I think that's total BS. I don't really buy it. Because, like, come on, man. It's like handheld. It's like a toddler. It looks like a baby, right? And could be made out of cake. So we don't know. I don't think that whole Mexico alien thing is real. They're trying to take our attention away. So stay focused. You know, they don't want you buying that Lamborghini. But yeah, I think that's bullshit. Okay. Yeah, moving on. Being not attractive enough for girls. 20-year-old guy here. Very receded hairline, not good face. At least I'm tall and take care of my body. Needless to say, I feel very unattractive to girls. especially physically, and seeing people dating each other really upsets me. What to do? You're 20, so you're pretty young to have these problems, which is unfortunate, but you do. Not good face, I don't know. Could be just slamming yourself, but I'm gonna go with you. You could be really ugly as shit, I don't know. Receded hairline, I could understand. I have a friend who lost all of his hair by 20. I'm not gonna say his name. He's probably listening. At least I'm tall and take care of my body. Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, you do have a couple of good things about you, so it's not all totally that bad. But you feel very unattractive, especially physically, which is understandable. Not really, actually, because if you say you take care of your body, you should have enough in what it takes physically, because girls really like a guy who's taking care of his body, because it tells them that you're disciplined. It says to them that you can cater, you can hold yourself accountable. You're tall, which is also a plus. Short kings rise up, but sometimes you just gotta take an L, honestly, as a short guy. So if you just got a receded hairline, I might as well shave it, man. That's what I would say. If I ever go bald, I would just shave it off, right? That's my solution for you. Not good face. Well, you know, I've seen pretty ugly dudes with some really good looking girls, so you never know. Personality beats the hell out of face every single day of the week. Personality. That's why I'm not really fond of dating apps and whatnot, because what, you're gonna judge me by my face and that's it, regardless of what your use for the app is, right? It's just not for me. I don't like it, because you're only judging by a photo, and personality is just taken out of the window. And you can argue that, yeah, you use bios and whatnot, but let's just don't do it justice. Your personality is so much bigger than that. Maybe grow a beard. If you don't have a beard, if you can't grow a beard, because a bald guy with beard, for some reason, always works. I don't know why. And if it's a darker beard, then go ahead. If you really like hair that much, you can go and do a transplant, you know. Turkey is always an option. They're not cheap, I'll tell you that. They're not cheap. But yeah, that's what I would say to you. Moving on. This is a question from unknown. Jesus, guys, I'm not gonna judge you. You can leave your name, you know. Just kidding. I will judge you. How to stop trying to seek a girlfriend and just focus on work and on myself. I feel so desperate trying to find a girlfriend, or maybe feel loved by the opposite gender. I'm 20, virgin. I never had a girlfriend, never kissed either. And when I watch couples on the streets, I feel so jealous and sad for never experiencing that. I'll just go join in. And for that reason, I can't focus in trying to be a better version of me in every aspect. And I feel that this is getting me behind from everything I want to accomplish. I don't know what I can do to reverse this situation. Okay. But you want to reverse it, right? But what's the reverse? You feel desperate trying to find a girlfriend and feel loved. I watch couples on the streets. So you don't really want to stop. You just do you actually? Do you want to stop? Let me ask you this. You say you feel jealous. But why? If you want to like focus on yourself, why would you feel jealous? If you are 100% committed to your mission, if you know 100% this is what you want, you wouldn't care. You would know what you want, right? You would be okay with people being happy with each other, because it's got nothing to do with you. It's none of your business. You're focused on your mission. You're focused on your grind, if you want, or whatever kids call it these days, right? you're focused on your craft, so you don't really feel jealous. But it's interesting that you say that. You never had a girlfriend, so you never really felt what it's like to be with someone. And so 100% a part of that aspect in your life is missing. You've never had like sex either, so you never had that physical nor emotional connection with another female, which is fair. You're only 20, and I'm not encouraging you to go out there and just hoe around with people. At least, you know, that wouldn't be my advice. That's not the right way to do it. Okay. Never had a girlfriend, never kissed either. Fair enough. But I'm gonna go with you, okay? You want to stop and focus on work, but that's just not easy. That's not how it works. If you truly want to stop and reverse the situation, you might want to think about why do you feel the crave to seek a girlfriend? Okay. Why do you feel that inside of you? And if I'm gonna be honest with you, is it because you've never had that in your life? That, at least in my opinion, you've never had that connection, and so part of you wants to explore, you know? And as humans, naturally, we want to explore. And so part of you wants to explore that, wants to know what's there, wants to go deep and see what it can do. Okay. I would advise you to be open to it. It's not totally that bad. Like, you can focus on work and yourself and also maintain a healthy relationship. Because you're 20, you're not young, you're not a kid. You're an adult, okay? And you're expected to be able to juggle all of these things together, right? Because you're at an age where, yes, you're not a teen anymore, you're not a kid, but you're also not like fully mature. And so you can experience things. So go out, experience things, meet people, talk to people. I would say, don't be afraid, go places, talk to people. I wouldn't tell you to reverse it. That's my solution. Don't reverse it. Just, it's natural to feel that. It's natural to want to seek love. It's natural to want to seek that connection. It's 100% natural. So don't shy away from it. Just learn how to focus on yourself and your work, but also be open to someone else joining your life. Because at the end of the day, what the fuck are we doing all of this for? Honestly, let's be real. We're doing it for ourselves, yeah. But what's the joy of it if we don't get to share it with someone else? You're not gonna take your money to your grave. You can, you know, you're not gonna take your work to your grave. You don't really want to be on your deathbed, sad and miserable, with no one by your side. That's just very, very painful. So don't try to reverse it. Accept it. Okay? That's my advice. And that's how I roll. Okay. Moving on. Is this gonna be another no-name questions, guys? I'm tired of this. I wanna like call someone out. I wanna call someone out by the name. Would you participate in a midnight club basketball game? Yes, I would. Thanks, Wall. I do play basketball every now and then. I try. Okay. This might sound weird, but what is your zombie apocalypse plan? Like, save zombies or to invade us. What? This might sound weird, but what is your zombie apocalypse plan? Like, say if zombies were to invade us, what would you do? Yusuf. Thanks, Yusuf. Okay. Do you want my honest answer? I would probably... Jeez, I've never thought about this. Why would you ask this? I've never thought about my zombie apocalypse plan. Hold on, let me give it some thought. I need to like really brain this out. Well, first of all, if it's anything like we see in the movies, that means that one bite and you're gone. Okay, and so you're gonna get infected. And so probably trying to. Oh, why am I imagining situations? We had COVID like 2 years ago. That's essentially the same thing. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the whole COVID scenario. Yeah, maybe I'll lock myself up, but maybe accept it. Like I'm more pessimistic. I wouldn't try to survive, because eventually everyone is gonna become zombified. I've never seen The Walking Dead, so I don't know what happens. But I've played The Last of Us. It doesn't go well. I haven't played the second one. Played the first one, but yeah, I wouldn't hold a shotgun and shoot everyone. It's just not my style. Maybe if I had a Dodge Challenger or a Ram, I would just like run over everyone. Okay, but I wouldn't hold a shotgun to their face. But yeah, that's my zombie apocalypse plan. Vitamins, multivitamins. Take your multivitamins. I'll still take my multivitamins. I'll try to go to the gym. Did that turn off? Why? ها خلصت؟ Lad.
On the edge.
On the edge, brother. Okay. That would be my zombie apocalypse plan, yeah? Okay. I am really struggling through school. I am 16, I work 2 jobs, and I don't know what to do. Do you have any tips? Okay. I started recording this, but I found out that I wasn't recording, so I partially answered the first part, if I'm being honest. So I'm just going to repeat what I said. The first thing I said was, good job that you have 2 jobs at 16. When I was at 16, I didn't have as much balls. I only had 1 job. But good job, honestly. Well done. But you say you're struggling through school and you have 2 jobs. So I'm guessing you're juggling all 3 and you don't know what to do about that because you didn't specify. Do you have any tips? Sure. I have plenty of tips. I have plenty of tips. Look, you're at a great age where you can try whatever and whatever. So if you're struggling, just look at what you're struggling at. You didn't tell me what you're struggling, so I'm gonna assume it's your studies or your work. So I'm gonna try and talk about both. If you're struggling with school and if you really want to study, regardless of what people tell you, let's just put whatever people tell you on the side. If your parents, your family, your mom, your dad tell you something, regardless of what they say, and I know they're probably gonna hate me if they listen to this. Don't worry about what people think you should be doing and do what you should be doing. If you are struggling with school, figure out why and how. If it's the jobs that is making you struggle, then leave one of them, right? Leave one of them. You don't want to be preoccupied because you're at an age where you don't know what the fuck you want to do. It's more than likely. And even if you have it in your heart and you go, I know exactly what I want to do. You want to become a mechanic. You want to become something that doesn't need you to finish school, a carpenter or whatever. Give it time because you're still fluctuating. Get to 18, finish year 12, take a year off, go travel, go somewhere. Explore places, explore cities, explore experiences, people. And then decide. But yeah. But for the time speaking, yeah, I know. It is a struggle with 2 jobs. I cannot totally understand. I worked how many jobs? 2 jobs maybe maybe 2 jobs when I came here and it was annoying, but I had to. If you don't have to, if you have, some of us don't have that luxury. Trust me, I know. Some of us don't have that luxury of starting to walk away. But if you can, walk away with 1. Maybe not 2, because I get the whole aspect of having your own money, your own shit, which is pretty good, good job. But maybe walk out of 1, right? Just don't walk out of school for now until you finish it. Just see the whole thing through and see where you end up mentally, at least. Okay. Oh, Lord. This is a very big thing, so I have to zoom it in. I sexualize women and want to stop. It's not a healthy or good thing to do and makes me sick that I do it. I sexualize women a lot and I don't want to. I hate that I find myself doing this. I know women are amazing and beautiful people who are more than just sexual pleasures or a vagina. Oh, he said the V word. They're human beings, just males or anybody else. But I commonly get thoughts when I see a woman where my brain will comment on their body or face or what they're wearing. Example, maybe they're wearing a top that shows cleavage, and in my head, I will start thinking about how their breasts look. Okay. Sick, you sick human being. I'm just kidding. I just want to be able to walk past, talk and look at women and not think anything sexual of them, and just to see them as they simply are a woman. I hate myself that I do this, but these thoughts just happen in moments. And I always try to shake them off, but they'll just happen again. This is also a reason why me and my girlfriend split up recently. It was damaging our relationship. She felt insecure and uncomfortable that I would be having these thoughts about women. All my sexual thoughts and desires should be on her and my attention only on her, which is true. And I know in my heart I love her, and I only have eyes for her. And in my head, she is genuinely the prettiest girl on earth, but it's as if my brain thinks differently, which is what I think leads to me sexualizing women. I just don't know why it thinks that way, and it does. Just to clarify, I am not sexually active and do not intend to engage in any sort of sexual activity in a long, long time. And before anyone suggested, I do not watch any sort of porn at all, and I have basically no female friends. My girlfriend was my only female friend. Oh, that's interesting. You don't watch porn, you say? Okay. ما تقدر تفتح لي hotspot من يمك؟ لما رايح أعمل الباقي. That's very interesting. You don't watch porn? Because I was gonna blame it on that, if I'm being honest. Okay. Okay. This could be a case where you're a person that has a high sexual drive, like a high sex drive, and you have nowhere to channel it, if that makes sense. Give me 1 second. فتحت لي أنا؟ شو اسمه؟ Oh, connected? Yeah, it is connected. Thank you. Okay, this could be a case where you genuinely have a high sex drive, but you don't know what to do with it. And you say you're not sexually active and you haven't been in a long time, so I assume you didn't have the same thing with your girlfriend. It's not an excuse, I know, but if you didn't really watch porn, consume it one way or another, maybe you grew up around it. Or maybe you grew up in a household where people just made these comments, you know. Your uncles, your brothers, I don't know your background, obviously. But if you grew up in an environment like that, it does stay in your head. It does stick in your head, and it's very damaging. And it's very hard to like get out of that idea. So not porn. Yes, I get it. If you really want to get out of it, then don't be too harsh on yourself. What you're going through is obviously difficult. Like, it's a sick way to think. Guys in general do think like that. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some more than others, and some act upon it more than others, obviously. But as a guy, you're just gonna think with your primitive head anyway. Okay, you try to not suppress it, but like have some decency to not make someone else uncomfortable, if that makes sense. Okay, so don't blame yourself for being a guy. Just blame yourself for being an asshole. If you are making these things come to life, and you do like catcall people, if you do walk on the street and you see someone and you whistle at them, you know that's enough reason for your girlfriend to break up with you, obviously. But if you haven't done any of these and you just kind of suppress it in your head, then you have had control over this. So try to get control over this. Suss it out. Why the hell do you do that? Okay. So yeah, I would say try to get control over it. Don't let it have control over you. Maybe your girlfriend wasn't so understanding. Maybe you need to be with someone who's understanding, with someone, you know, that knows that you're a man, you're a guy, you're gonna think like that. It's not an excuse, obviously. If you split up, maybe it was right, it was just she didn't feel secure and comfortable. Someone else would be more understanding, but also you have to do your part where you just try to like tone it down a little bit. Come on, man. Right? But yeah, get your shit together, brother. Not every titty is, you know, worth, you know, getting bamboozled over. Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's what I would say. With that being said, I am not a professional. Okay, seek some help. Honestly, seek some help. There's no shame in asking for professional and, you know, professional help. There's no shame. I'm at a point in my life where I need to accept it. Some people, they're better than me. They can accept it straight away. So, okay. That's my thing too. Okay, moving on. Vent. Stop listening to self-improvement influencers that push the narrative that modern men are weak, because that's not true at all. Okay? Sure, we are not fighting world wars or anything crazy like that, but that doesn't mean that we are living on easy mode. A video popped up on my YouTube feed, and this person was saying that our parents were able to start families and buy houses when they were 21. That's true. What made me realize that it's all BS is that he didn't mention that life was economically easier back then. Their parents probably bought the house for 20, 30K at the same house. The same house is worth over 100K now. Men's self-esteem and overall mental health has taken a hit, not because they play video games and jerk off to porn all day. No, but that does contribute. Due to the fact that the economy has become shit and men are valued for their ability to be able to provide, so a lot of guys feel worthless. I can't believe that I used to eat up these videos because they are garbage. They don't display the full picture. Their goal is to push the narrative that modern men are weak because that's what gets views. Okay. It's a vent. You don't really need to have, but I'm gonna like discuss that. It's a very good thing that you brought up. I remember a few weeks ago, not long ago, Mitch sent me a influencer's account. She's a female. She had this hot topic about how self-improvement can actually damage you, and over consuming that shit can maybe occupy your mind. Mesh is looking at me right now. Her name is Mari Saad. She makes a very good point, and I get it. Like, her whole thing is that I left self-improvement because it was damaging. Okay, but that's not my point. I get what you're saying with the whole, you know, economically they were able to afford 20, 30K houses. But think about it like this. They were able to afford 20 to 30K a house comparing to 100K, but back then they used to get paid a lot less. So it's not totally different, is it? Okay, maybe things weren't as expensive as today, but in general the pay wasn't that bad, that wasn't that great either, and so they had to work their ass off anyway. So in a way, we did take a hit somewhere along the line. We did become softer, sure, but there is more money now generally. And so I think that we, if anything, it's an easy market to make money in today because most of the people don't want to put the work in because we've gotten more lazy, you know, through time. It's so easy to create something today, and it's so easy to start a business compared to like back then when it used to be all just the sharks and the big markets. They used to eat that shit up all the time. So from the video you've watched, I understand where you're coming from. The guy is not on 100% total BS. He's got a point. With your point though, it shouldn't be damaging for your self-esteem, because if you know what you're doing, if you're doing something that's working, if you're doing something that's good, if you know that you are pushing every day, it shouldn't matter what your self-esteem is. Who gives a fuck, honestly? Right? Oh, my self-esteem this, my self-esteem that. If you're focused on your work, if you're focused on your craft, who gives a shit? Okay? It's so silly. It's so stupid. Like, honestly, do you think I care about your self-esteem more than you do? Or do you think, anyone on the street is going to care for your self-esteem? They don't. All they want to do is have their business booming on top of yours. All they want to do is have more money than you. Most people. Some people are genuinely nice. Most people in the business field are not. So good fucking luck, okay? Yes, we've taken a hit with our self-esteem, but as you said, it is not 100% because of video games or pornography. That does contribute to it, but we've gone softer over time anyway. Why? You do tell me. Is it technology? Is it business? Is it corporations? Is it our food? Is it culture in general? Maybe it's all three. Maybe it's all four. Maybe it's all five. I think that we did go soft. That's what I think. At some point. And it just ain't gonna cut it. Because this place right here is survival of the fittest. It's natural selection. That's what happens. You're not good enough, you get taken over. I'm sorry, but that's just the reality. And so if you want to sit down and cry about it, then go ahead. If you're gonna whine about how, ooh, boo-hoo, a house is like $400,000 today, well, guess what? It's not gonna get any fucking cheaper. Okay? I get that this is a vent. Okay? But this is a vent as well. Yeah. A lot of guys do feel worthless. Maybe because they're not doing shit. A lot of guys feel worthless because they're not doing much with their lives. They live this empty, shallow life of no goals, no aspirations, no dreams, no one believing in them. Do you understand how, how helpful it is to have someone believe in you? To have someone tell you one word of encouragement? It takes you fucking miles, years, light years ahead. Not a lot of people hear that. You don't see a guy being told by his dad, his mom, his friends, his peers, his family, oh, good job, you're doing well. Why? I don't know why. Is it toxic? Is it cringe? Is it not cool? Okay. That's why they feel worthless. That's why a lot of guys struggle. That's why a lot of guys commit suicide. Because, they don't support one another. And you can't expect support from everyone, which is understandable, but sometimes even the people that are supposed to love you, they don't give you support. And so what are you going to do at that point? Give yourself fucking support or something like that. Okay. But yeah. Have dreams, have aspirations. If you don't have any, go and find something. Don't criticize people for making their content and you disliking it. It's not pushing a narrative. You say it like they're a big gang, like self-improvement influencers that push the narrative. And I get what you mean. I'm not in that gang. I don't consider myself an influencer to become with. I'm just your average Joe talking shit. It's just me and you, okay? I'm just talking to you as a friend or like as a random person if you don't see me as a friend. It's not a narrative. It's people saying whatever they want to say and you choosing to have that reaction. We're not living, yeah, I know what you mean. There's no world war or anything. We're not living on easy mode. But it's far more comfortable than it used to be like 50 years ago. We're not getting sent to fucking concentration camps. We're not getting sent to wars against our wills. We're not getting our countries invaded, although some people still have that till this day. It's still happening. And they still make it out of it and do something for themselves. So what the fuck is your excuse? Okay? Now, I don't know if you're doing something or not with your life, but this is a message to not necessarily you per se. It's just if someone is listening to this and they blame their circumstances, like just stop creating excuses. It's not going to get you anywhere. Stop with the bitchiness. Stop with I don't feel like it. Stop with the market is against me. Stop with the people are against me. Get up, do your fucking shit, get your shit together, get your act together, do something for your life, because at the end of the day, you only have that. You only have this, and you'd be lucky if you get someone to share it with along the way. Myself included. Like, I don't know if I stop this, what would I do? I don't know where I would be if I wasn't doing what I like. Probably worthless, feeling worthless as well. More than likely. Okay. So that would be my revent to your vent. And if you can take it, you can take it. If you can't take it, I don't know. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Go figure. Okay, moving on. This is another message from Yusuf. Thank you, Yusuf, for a lot of messages, man. Dude, I really ran through all of these. Okay. What's something or someone that you really appreciate? Let me think about this for a second. Because I can think about a few people. I really appreciate my mom. I really appreciate my dad, my brother, my friends. I do have a few people that I really appreciate, but I'm not going to tell you exactly who, because it could be, it's different from person to person. Something, though, is very interesting. Maybe I appreciate life. Maybe. There's this song by Louis Armstrong. It's called What a Wonderful World. Okay. And the lyrics of the song are very beautiful. I really advise you to listen to that song. Louis Armstrong, What a Wonderful World. He describes the world in such a beautiful lens, in such an optimistic vision. And one of my favorite lyrics is, I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? But they're really saying, I love you. Because the reason why it's so beautiful is because, friends shaking hands and hugging each other is such a normal, everyday thing. But the underlying aspect of it is love. These people truly love each other. And the world is beautiful. As much as you want to paint it in a dark, tragic way, and it's sad, and there's no hope, and some of these things are true. You do see things happening in the world, and you're like, okay, where's God in all of this? This doesn't make any sense. The world is beautiful, and you gotta look at it in a way that it is beautiful. It's what we do to the world that makes it this really dark place. Because think about it. Without us, how would Earth look like? Without humans, how would it look like? Just like any other planet. Look at Mars. Go look at Mars. There's nothing happening on Mars. Okay? Jupiter. Whatever planet. It's calm and quiet. So we decide what to do with this place. We do make it beautiful, but we also do make it look a little bit bad. And you can't have it both ways. It's just not life. It's not realistic. So I do appreciate life. I appreciate my time being here. I appreciate what I'm given, whatever this is. It doesn't make sense. Like I'm a talking animal. Okay, it doesn't make sense. I don't know how, why. I don't know. Do I have a soul? Do I not have a soul? Maybe, maybe I don't. God, does God exist? Does God? I don't know. Okay. So all of this doesn't make sense, but it's very fucking beautiful at the same time. It's so beautiful. And it's beautiful because it doesn't make sense. But learn how to appreciate it, how to be in the moment. I struggled recently with living in the future, and my mom told me, I broke down with my mom like maybe 3 weeks ago. And the reason why I broke down is because I was being like really overwhelmed and whatnot. And it didn't make sense. I had nothing to be sad about. I was doing what I was doing. I was busy with work. I don't have emotional issues. I don't have attachment issues. I didn't get upset because, something didn't happen my way. I was just feeling like shit. And it happens. And sometimes you sit down and you go, I feel miserable. Why do I feel miserable? Why the hell do I feel miserable? For no reason. Why do I feel miserable for no reason? For me, at least at that time, I told my mom, and she said that you're present in the moment. Right now, you're sitting next to me, but your head is sitting next week. It's not living with me. It's like you're not here present fully, And it made sense. I wasn't appreciating the moment. I wasn't appreciating life for what it was. I feel really bad right now, as in suicidal, scared, and lost. I'm 16. I walk around the house every day doing nothing. Go to school and achieve nothing. Go back home and talk to nobody. Right now, I'd really like, nothing more than to die. But that's not really true. I have people I have to stay for, but that's not enough somehow tonight. I think I'm gonna do something bad. I don't know how to tell my mom because I don't want to scare or worry her. I'm opening and closing apps on my phone trying to distract myself, but it's not really working. I don't know what to do. Brother, sister, I don't know. Fuck. Okay. As I said, this is like maybe days and hours ago. You're talking about tonight. And there is no name, so there's no way I could know who it is. I can't really say anything about this. I can't. Because if you did do something, and you're not with us anymore, that's a shame. Any halamat. Because it's really tough. You just landed a nuclear bomb on my head. Okay. I'm gonna try to be honest with you. If you are still with us, if you are still listening, I'm gonna assume that you are. Because there's no good out of sitting here and pretending that you assuming the worst. If you are still listening to this, I urge you to reach out. Not necessarily for me. To those people that you say that you have to stay for. Because you seem like a headstrong person. Let's just say that. You seem like a headstrong person. You're 16. You're scared and lost. You don't really go into detail about what's happening. This is a very general statement. You don't know how to tell your mom, which means that you might have poor communication abilities. You don't know how to communicate that. You're feeling something, but you don't know how to communicate it. I pray that by the time this comes out, you are listening to it and you do reach out to me or to someone else. If not, seek help. If you're not with us no more, then I'm really sorry. But to the people listening, if you are going through something like that, there's no shame in reaching out to people, man. Even if you don't know how to do it, just do it. Just say what's on your mind. Just say what you feel like. There is no art of telling people that I'm sad. There is no way to navigate how to communicate to people that you're feeling miserable. You just say it. And the people that care, and the people that don't. Don't just assume people don't care. Tell them and see their reaction, and then judge. That's all I can say. Moving on to the very last question. Okay. I had a discussion recently about how the society and social media impacts our generation right now, and whether or not we are a good generation like our parents. So my bad. So whether that we are a good generation like our parents. So my question is, why do people from our generation doubt their ability as people and consider themselves as a worse generation than our parents? And why do they think that we will not be able to raise the future generations like our parents raised us? It's very surprising and sad that our generation thinks low of themselves, and this shouldn't be the case. Thanks. Okay. A couple of whys here and there. Maybe I should turn this down a little bit. Actually, no. I'll just push this back a little bit. It's good that you're having this discussion with people. People do need to realize that they are not useless. A lot of people think that they are. They're not. Why do people from our generation doubt their abilities? It's because they didn't have anyone to believe in them. They didn't hear a single word of encouragement. It's like this vent that we were talking about just before. The guy venting about how older generations probably had it tougher and that we have it easier, but it's not completely true. That's what he was talking about. The people from this generation doubt their abilities because generally it is an easier environment to live in. Generally speaking, yes. Living now is far more comfortable than it used to be 50, 40 years ago, statistically speaking. I'm not talking out of my ass. Go look at the facts. It was harder. They had wars. They had more disease. They had less reliable media sources. They had less reliable, I would say, technologies, medication systems. Even though our medication system is not 100% trustworthy today, but they had it worse, far worse. They needed to open up someone's belly to give him a heart surgery or something like that. Nowadays, you just don't do that, So they've been through a tougher situation. People fall into this thing where they reminisce and they romanticize 50 years ago as if it was better. Just like they romanticize a dictator and someone who was genuinely a bad person, and they say that they were good just for the sake of what we have right now being not as good. If that makes sense. People always have this nostalgia thing. And I guess I do too, but I'm aware of it. You gotta be self-aware of your nostalgia, that it doesn't take you out of today, because it's all about today, right? And I think people that don't believe in themselves because older generations were better are just losers, if I'm being honest with you. Come on, man, get a grip. You really don't believe in yourself just because someone built the fucking pyramids 5,000 years ago? You live like that? Sure, they had more inventions back then. They were more creative, but they had their own techniques. They had their own style. They had their own lifestyle. Today is different. You can always venture into something different if you are good enough, obviously, and you work on yourself. So don't be a loser. But it's good that you're having this conversation. So good on you. Considering themselves worse, why do they think that we will not be able to raise the future generations like our parents raised us? It's very surprising to understand that our generation thinks low of themselves. This shouldn't be the case. Okay. I kind of agree with the fact that we wouldn't be able to raise our generations like our grandparents raised us because we don't have to. We shouldn't, if anything. Why should we raise our this generation just like we were raised? Why should our children raise their children like we got raised or like our grandparents raised us? It doesn't make sense. Why would you raise someone in 2030 the way that someone was raised in 1970? Different times, different culture, right? It doesn't make sense. So we wouldn't be able to raise them like they raised us. Yes, we wouldn't be able to raise. And I mean, you're talking about society's point of view, right? You're not talking about children. You're talking about our, current society and our generation and how we as young people can rise with the nation. We can do that. We can do that. Not necessarily the same way they did it like 50 years ago. How did they do it 50 years ago? They fought wars. Now it's different. We don't have to kill people to raise a whole generation. Innovation doesn't stop. Okay? It doesn't. And if you're a creative mind that could put work into their craft, obviously you can rise a business out of it. You can rise a generation out of it. Look at Elon. He's working his ass off to come up with different shit. Some good, some bad. Take your, make your point, make your mind. But you can't deny that the guy is generational. A few people you talk to, they're in their 20s and they're trying their best to go actively do that, something within their community. It doesn't have to be a global level, right? You start small and then you develop. In the words of Kanye West, Steve Jobs is dead, so be the new Steve Jobs, right? We will not be able to raise the future generations like our parents, yeah, because it's a different time. We wouldn't be able to raise it because it's a different time. Doesn't mean that we can't pivot out, try something different. Surprising and sad that our generation thinks low of themselves, and this shouldn't be the case. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it's all circling back to the whole low self-esteem thing. It seems like a really common theme, especially for today's question. A lot of people are suffering with low esteem, and it's no surprise. There's like a gazillion way to take your self-esteem away from you. If you're a girl, modeling and shit, you look at a girl that's like 10 times more fit than you, and then you know that you're going to have to work 10 times harder to get that body. And I'm not going to say it's unattainable. That's just bullshit. It's 100% attainable, okay? You look at a girl that's like in a bikini modeling for like Playboy or Gucci or any top shelf brand, and you think that I can never get this body. 100% you can. Same thing for guys. You look at a guy that's like buff and really fit, and you go, well, I would never be able to get that type of body. 100% you can. Maybe not the exact same one, because people are just built differently. We're not all just one size fits all. We're not the exact same body. But speaking of the level of fitness, that's one aspect of it. And then you got pornography, okay, which is just setting like a really unbelievable bar for people to meet, right? And if you get induced to that, and it's not just like pornography as in sexual pornography, it could be any food pornography, for example, okay? Just anything that gives you an unrealistic expectation is gonna make you feel like shit. Social media, people posting about their everyday adventures, and I'm not saying don't do it, okay? Like, it's your social media, go ahead and document it. But for you as a person to look at it and feel like shit is kind of on you, if I'm being honest. The person is doing nothing but flashing their life. For some people, it could be just that I want to show people what I'm about. For some people, it could be that it's my account, I post whatever I like. That's their choice. It's your choice to decide how you want to react to it, okay? They're not asking you to, oh, look at me, I'm so good, and you have to be mad about it. No, they're just documenting whatever they want to do. And so it's up to you to feel upset about it, okay? And so, if anything, it's in your control. Your self-esteem is in your control. Why should I let other people decide for me how I feel when I can literally just make my mind up about a thing or two and stand on my ground, because not everything you see is how it is at the end of the day. Okay, like I could be sitting here talking right now and I could go back home and cry for hours and hours. You don't know that. I try not to, unless I lose at FIFA. The new game is very annoying. I could cry. Okay, just don't worry about it. Don't talk to me about it, man. These kids are getting very, good at this game these days, and I think, did I get old? Did something wrong happen in my life? Is video games not for me anymore? Okay. Last but not least, this is not a question, it's more of a checklist. Someone put it's 8 things to quit in 2024. Okay. I'm only here to put a nice message out to people listening. Okay, sure, take the mic. I'm gonna read it for you. 8 things to quit. Oh, actually, no, hold on. This could be a very good reel. 8 things to quit in 2024 by the words of, I don't know who, because they didn't leave a name. Trying to please everyone. Thinking you're good enough. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. Thinking you're not good enough. I'm sorry if I'm misinterpreting your message. Okay, so thinking you're not good enough. Sacrificing your health and happiness for others. Overthinking. Fearing the change you so desperately need. Beating yourself up over past mistakes. Being afraid to be different. Ooh, that's a good one. That's probably my favorite. Living in the past. Okay, that kind of applies to me. I live in the future, but thanks. And not the good futuristic type. So if you didn't call on, these are the 8 things a random person left in the form. Thank you very much, random person, for leaving these 8 things. I hope you do all of these, but I'm going to read them again real quick. Trying to please everyone. Okay. Thinking you're not good enough. But this is like just it's so general, because sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're not good enough. Right? And you got to be okay with that. You got to admit it sometimes. But I know you come with good heart. I know what you mean when you say this. It's on the subject of self-love. Okay. Sacrificing your happiness for others. Even then, I don't completely agree with this. Sometimes you gotta, if I'm being honest. And you see it a lot with parents. They do sacrifice their happiness a lot for their children if they are loving parents. So it's not totally that bad. But for others that don't really care about you and you don't care about, I get it. Overthinking, sure, why not? Sometimes it's good. You gotta overthink some things. Fearing the change you so desperately need. Yeah, I see that. But some people don't really know, right, that they need it. So beating yourself up over past mistakes, I get that 100%. 100%. Learn from it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn from it. Like, it's okay to be upset, but learn how you can be better. Being afraid to be, hold on. Being afraid to be different, yeah. 100%. 1000%, man. I couldn't agree more with this. It's so like stigmatized if you're different. Like, oh, you're singled out, you're weird. They look at you different, they talk to you different. So what? You're different. You're not them. What if people talk at the end of the day? Because they can't be you. If you're different, you're not part of the herd. If you're not part of the herd, you're doing something different. They can't categorize you. They can't hold you down. They can't box you. If they can't box you, that means you're gonna do something. If you're gonna do something, well, guess what? They're gonna hate. So yeah, fuck them. That's what I would say. Living in the past. Yeah, 100%. It's okay. What you've done has happened. Lo que pasó, pasó. What's happened, happened. Elisar. I'm so multilingual, Jesus. So good like that. Okay, no. I'm not gonna suck myself off like that. But yeah, what happened, happened. I 100% agree. Living in the past is a thing. People do that. They do that. I know people in my family, they keep repeating the same thing over and over. They sound like a broken record. They don't get over it. Learn how to get over it. What happened, happened. That's it. Don't do it again. Try not to do it again. You might do it again. Try not to. But I'm out here. I think I've answered all questions, which is, diabolic. This episode has been very, very, very demanding. It's been very annoying. Like, if you're listening to this, you might not understand. If you're watching this, though, you'll know, because I had a few technical issues while I was recording, and so you might see a little bit of weird editing here and there. So please excuse that. I'll try my best to, give you a seamless experience. If I did think that I'm giving you a seamless experience, you will not be hearing this. If I failed at trying to give you a seamless experience, this is my full disclosure. But yeah, it was a very demanding episode, I think. Thank you for Majd. He's right here with me in the studio. He helped out a lot. If it wasn't for him, I would have been struggling today all day. Matter of fact, this episode probably wouldn't have happened. He just gave me an air kiss. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening. I appreciate all of you sending these messages. It's been great. I like receiving these messages. Maybe we'll do this once a month. Maybe we won't. I don't know. I'm thinking once a month, but as a bonus episode. I don't really like the idea of it replacing the weekly episode. So if people like it, which so evidently they do, we might make it something that is a recurrent. Okay? I don't have any announcements right now. So without further ado, I'll just say thanks to Xan and thanks to Spectrum for providing the space. And thank you for tuning in and joining on this episode today. And without further ado, I really suck with outros, as you can tell. I'm just going to say goodbye. Thank you very much and stay safe. Bye-bye. Adios.